So, I just want to know.
I've been in depression for the last 12 hours.
Because of this movie?
Because of this fucking movie.
Which one was worse, this or The Room?
Oh, this. At least The Room was fun.
Yeah.
This was just like watching the whole goddamn thing. Just like, why?
Yeah.
Why?
Very much why.
But then again, it's like most current day Sandler movies.
Right. It just exists.
It just exists for no fucking reason. God.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. Welcome into That Movie Show.
Hi, everybody.
It is Mike Wendt, Liam Stryker.
Hello. Bill's
and,
here somewhere.
Bill's here helping us out.
I'm here.
Playing the adult. And, yeah, we're doing Here Comes the Fucking Boom from 2012. You can tell by the tone of my voice that I watched it last night. I actually had to pay for this goddamn thing to watch it.
So did I.
On so many, like, you own it now. At least I fucking rented it.
So here's the thing. I went to Target, and I bought this amazing variety pack, as you can clearly see here.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Laugh Out Loud 5-movie collection with Here Comes the Boom front and center.
Top billing.
Grown Ups 2.
Yeah.
Paul Blart Mall Cop 2.
Yep.
Joe Dirt 2, which I didn't know they made.
Yeah, it was a straight to crackle movie.
Yeah,
no
of
shit.
course. But I'm shocked it exists.
Yep.
And Pixels.
Yeah. So you have
What about Pixels 2? Is that on there?
Electric Boogaloo? No.
So you have 3 completely unnecessary sequels.
Yeah.
And then
and
one
2
movie.
completely unnecessary movies.
How much
Yeah.
was that amazing pack?
$10.
Ooh, nice.
See,
yeah.
and he sent me
That's
a
worth
picture,
it, then.
and my only response was, "You got ripped off."
Yeah. Well, the thing about
5 movies are $10, no matter how bad they are.
That should have been a free gift for walking in the store.
should have been, but
Like, here, please.
my
we
issue
have
with-
way too many.
my issue with Pixels is that this group shouldn't have done it, because you look at Pixels,
Yep.
and it's Sandler and Kevin James and Peter Dinklage,
Yep.
and it's like, this is a weird hodgepodge
Yeah,
of people.
They've wrangled Dinklage and Josh Gad into
And
their
Josh
weird
Gad into
collection.
it, and it should have been the Seth Rogen guys, like Rogen and.
I mean, it still wouldn't have been great.
No, but I feel like they would have made a better movie if they were like, aliens attack the planet, but they're
Well,
based.
they did kind of make that movie, but it was called what the fuck? This is the End, and it was a much better movie.
Yes.
That was the Rogan guys.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
Franco threw a party and all hell breaks loose.
Yeah. Right.
You know, so hashtag me too.
Hashtag. Yeah. Speaking of that.
I guess they did imply they were going to rape Emma Watson at some
Yeah.
point.
They did actually.
The worst part is this movie's from 2012. Here Comes the Boom.
It is from 2012.
And it doesn't age well at all.
The most egregious thing is this thing cost $42 million.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
guessing most of that went to UFC licensing
Had to have. And music.
and music.
Music and UFC licensing.
It's literally a movie that was named after they got rights to a song.
Yeah, that's actually what happened.
And they played it ad nauseum.
Oh yeah, they were like, oh, this is a fun song. Let's make a movie about it. And it was.
And this is what you get.
This-
It made a box office of $73.1 million, making it a
Profitable
light
movie.
success.
But that's the thing. That's the issue.
This is the problem with these movies.
Right. And that's the problem with Sandler movies
Right.
right now, is that there's no quality to them because they make money no matter what.
Exactly. That's why Netflix gave him, what, $60 million?
Right.
And just free reign to do whatever. The director, Frank Coraci, I'm going with,
Yep.
is pretty much a Sandler staple. He directed Waterboy, Wedding Singer, the Netflix movie Ridiculous Six. He directed Click. So basically, he's Sandler's go-to guy, because Sandler probably doesn't want all the responsibilities of directing, so he gets a yes man to just kind of
Do it.
turn on the camera, basically.
Right.
You know, block shots for him.
Yeah.
You know,
That's really what it
Because
is.
it really, all of these movies, and this whole show could be on all of them. Grown Ups, etc. Grown Ups is the most egregious of all the
My
fucking
issue
things.
with
That's
Grown
literally
Ups-
they turned on a camera and went to summer camp.
Well, right, because
went on vacation.
my issue with Grown Ups is the first one. I haven't seen the second one, but I own it on DVD
It's
now.
the same
so-
fucking movie.
Oh, I can imagine.
Same movie.
It's just them doing bits and then just cutting to the next scene.
Yeah.
There's no story progression at all.
Nope.
And it's not until they try to shoehorn this thing about humility at the end of the movie in that basketball tournament.
They're fucking and that's again, it's wash, rinse, repeat.
Right.
Sandler has a formula. There's always, you know, I mean, Salma Hayek's been in almost all of these movies.
I don't know. That was the shocker to me is
she was in the Grown Ups ones too.
Right, but why is she in all of these?
Because they need a hot chick.
And so they
to
just
play the lovable loser's love interest.
Yeah.
She's Sandler's wife in Grown Ups, and Kevin James is object of affection.
Right, and the craziest part is that relationship is the one that does not age well in 2018. No. Because he just keeps pestering her to go on a date, and she keeps saying no.
No, I'm not interested.
Yeah, and he keeps doing it. Mm-hmm. It's like, it's cringy.
I'm going to cook you dinner.
Yeah.
And then has the friend cook dinner.
Right.
Who's the friend? I've seen him in a bunch. Gary Valentine. Wasn't he in the...
He was in King of Queens.
Okay, he was a King of Queens guy?
Gary Valentine is Kevin James' brother, isn't he?
Yeah.
In real life or in the show?
In real life.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
That explains the...
And he's
he kind of looks like him.
Yeah. And he's also a staple of Happy Madison. He's a Happy Madison staple.
A lot of these guys are.
Yeah.
Winkler especially. It was talk about a guy who's just like you wish so much more for. He's the fucking Fonz.
I love Henry Winkler.
And he's in every one of these hot piles of garbage.
Yeah, but he's fun in all of them.
Well, he is because he clearly gives the least amount of fucks.
Right.
He's like, no, I'm the Fonz. I'm
also,
literally working through my retirement at this point.
So the reason why we're doing this movie is last week we were doing the far better.
Well, we decided we've done too many easy, good movies.
Right, so we did this one. So I have a bunch of stories, and they all revolve around Henry Winkler for this movie.
Because you were in this movie. That's how we landed on.
Yeah.
It was one of two. It was either Here Comes the Boom or Ghost of Girlfriends Past, which we'll get to maybe in a few months.
Oh, you need to...
Like I said, legit, this movie caused depression in me. I watched it and just was like, oh, they gave these people millions of dollars, and this is what they fucking did?
Yeah. So,
damn.
I'm in a scene in this movie.
Yes, you are.
Do we want to just start breaking down the movie, and when we get to it, we'll talk about it?
6 only, half dozen another. It's
So basically, the premise of this movie. Here comes.
I'm also learning how to use an iPad while we're doing the show.
That's very fun. It's just like the monolith in 2001: A Space Odyssey.
And I'm literally like that monkey who found a bone and is just going to start making something. I don't know.
I bet you that girl from the Apple commercials can show you how to use it.
What's a computer? Mm-hmm. I fucking hate that.
I hate that commercial too.
It was a great, endearing,
it's the worst.
It is
heartwarming commercial.
Until
that one line, I'm like, oh, I fucking hate you.
Yeah, because
she says it so sincerely. If she said it sarcastically, okay, they're making a joke. But she said it legitimately.
Yeah.
Like Apple wants you to believe
that the iPad is going
someone in their early teens, maybe even 12-ish,
mid-teens,
doesn't know what a fucking computer is.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry. She seems smart.
Because they can do everything on an iPad.
That's like the excuse of someone saying, I haven't seen The Godfather because it came out before I was born.
Yeah.
That doesn't make it not great.
Yeah, right.
That doesn't mean computers never existed.
Yeah, right.
I have never seen a $2 bill. Well, they've existed. I mean?
Yeah,
it's one of those
right. So Here Comes the Boom.
Know your history, bitch.
Stars Kevin James as a...
it's going to be an angry show, too.
A ragtag, like,
What's the actual synopsis set? Tell us. Do you have that open?
I can pull that up.
Let me see. A high school biology teacher looks to become a successful mixed martial arts fighter in an effort to raise money to prevent extracurricular activities from being axed at his cash-strapped school.
So that's not 100% true, but...
Not really.
But yeah, he is a biology teacher, and he is going to MMA because...
First of all, he's a bad biology teacher.
Like, he doesn't care.
Like, he shows up consistently late to the point that the principal is docking him pay, docking him vacation days, which is a great joke that pays off at the end.
Yeah, right.
But
you just hate this.
Well, it really hurt me.
Really? Why? Why
really
did it hurt
me.
you?
Because it exists.
Really?
It did. Because these are talented people.
Right.
Deep down.
Right.
I know because Adam Sandler used to make good movies.
He did.
They used to be good. They used to be funny. So he has that in him. You don't just lose that.
Right.
You get lazy. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Late years, current generation, Adam Sandler, Happy Madison Productions is what we're going to call it, are lazy.
They are.
They are just lazy. And it's the same thing over and over again. It's fucking Paul Blart.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to fall down.
Look, anybody who... And the problem is, and we just touched on it, they make money. That's the biggest thing because Adam Sandler, Kevin James, Chris Rock, these are money-making names. You put their name on a poster, moms are going to take their kids to go see it. They're easy. Right. They don't make R-rated movies, so you're going to get the kids, you're going to get the teens, you're going to get the parents. All of them are going to come out. They're soft movies, so there's not a lot of not a lot of weight to them. There's not a lot of drama to them.
Right.
There's only one little heartwarming thing. Oh, he's got to win this, or he's got to do that. He's got to overcome something.
Right.
They all have to overcome something, and it's just like I said, it's just laziness. And there's so much more that these creative people could be accomplishing with $47 million.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's true.
Give me one and I'll do a better fucking movie.
Yeah. Well,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
One.
So I didn't think that this movie was that bad. This falls into the, like, a Sunday morning cleaning the house type thing.
Yeah.
Where it's like, this movie is easy to jump in and out of. It has a couple of funny bits in it where, like, oh, I chuckled at that. That was fine.
Yeah, I recall chuckling 3 times. Not even chuckling, but kind of going, huh.
Yeah.
About 3 times it happened in a movie that's, 105 minutes long?
Something like that.
Yeah, an hour 45.
The issue that I had with it, oddly enough, is the part where he makes it all the way to the UFC.
I have a problem with the ending as well, but we'll get there.
Yeah, so... I
have no problem with him making it there because of the way they kind of set it up as almost a charity case, almost a Rocky Apollo from Rocky 1 thing.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say it right now. Him winning the fight is my problem. Rocky Balboa
doesn't win the fight.
Even in the movie Rocky Balboa, when he finally makes up for Rocky 5, he doesn't win that fantasy fight.
Yeah.
He loses.
Yeah.
But it's a heartwarming story. It's almost more heartwarming because it's believable. Yeah, okay, he gets into fighting shape-ish for that person of that age, but he's going in there with a real current boxer.
Right.
This guy's going into the fucking octagon with a real... The guy's called what? The Executioner? The Killer or something like that? He would murder him.
Yeah.
And then there's that, of course, there's that moment where he come out and bump. Oh, he's won his respect. No, the dude can take a punch. Okay, I bought it up to that point.
Right.
But I'm sitting there and I had never seen this movie. I avoided movies like this for a long time.
Right.
And I'm like, they're not going to let him win.
I
can't let him win. He's going to have to figure. Winkler's going to have to find out. He's going to have to win the lottery or something. They can't let him win this fight.
What I would have done, the way I would have ended this movie.
Shame Joe Rogan.
Yeah, the way I would have ended this movie, because you're right. That was the worst part, is that at the end of the film, Paul Blart.
Might as well have been there. It's interchangeable.
Yeah. Kevin James wins the fight by knockout. Right?
Yeah.
And I think that he should have, because the speech that Winkler gives him right before the 3rd round.
I'm sorry. I just got to get it out. My favorite Winkler moment in one of these shitty fucking movies is getting covered in bees in Little Nicky.
Yeah.
And every time we say his name, that's all I hear is Rob Schneider. Cover Winkler in bees. You can do it. Like that every time. So go on.
So that's so funny.
That's all I think of.
So Winkler gives him this speech because for some odd reason the UFC decided to fly out the entire band.
Well, and that was again out of nowhere. Well, Salma Hayek, who while she's hot as Salma Hayek is still just some middle school teacher or high school
She's a nurse.
She's a fucking nurse, but she's also, surprise, surprise, best friends with Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
So she literally just points, oh, I called him. And Rogan, who's supposed to be doing commentary, by the way, is just out in the crowd like, hey.
Wink.
Check, please.
Yeah.
I mean, what
so
the fuck?
The funniest part about that is that she calls him at Las Vegas night. So it's in the middle of the night in Las Vegas.
They private plane these guys.
Right. And so that's like, let's just say it gets dark at earliest 7 o'clock.
Sure.
Right?
Where was this? Where are they based at? Where's the school?
The school's in Boston.
That's right, because they keep saying that he's fighting out of Boston. Okay.
Fighting out of Boston. Yeah. So
okay, here's something local for you guys. He's a Quincy High School teacher.
Oh, that's fine.
There we go.
Shot in Everett. But
he's teaching at the failing Quincy High School.
Yeah. Okay. Good for them. Good for them.
Well done. Fair fucks to you.
So, she calls him at night. Right? So let's just say it's 7 o'clock. That means it's 9 o'clock on the East Coast.
Yeah.
Right? To let him know that the assistant principal is embezzling all the money and they lost all of it.
Right.
So they would have to fly all of these kids at like 6 o'clock in the morning to get them to Las Vegas in time to do this. Mm-hmm. And there's just not enough time for them to get all the permission slips.
Yeah, I mean, where are the parents in this?
Right. How did you contact Joe Rogan?
It takes actual field trips like weeks to get together.
Right.
And how does she know Joe Rogan?
How does she know Joe Rogan? But the way that I would have... So Henry Winkler, at the start of the third round, sits there and says, like, you're already doing it. You're inspiring these kids because you're not giving up.
Right.
And so...
Morally, you've already won.
And so...
Tap the fuck out.
Well, no. So I would have had him... not give up, like stay in that armbar and not give up, have the bell ring,
and the decision just goes.
And then it's unanimous decision to the other guy.
Because that was the fucked up thing, because knowing anything about UFC, watching this fight, there was no way if it went to decision that the other guy wasn't going to win.
Right.
Because Kevin James got like 2 shots in. He had one good round. And so you, at the end, the other guy wins, and it's like, all right, you're going to get paid. And then Joe Rogan comes in with a check that saves the school. Right. You can have the good thing, Dana White or whatever the hell comes in. You know what? Here you go. We're taking care of the school.
Like, here's the thing.
And it would have played in because Dana White's from here.
Right.
There would have been that local connection.
And it would have,
he didn't even show up in the fucking movie.
He's not in the movie.
He's referenced that Joe Rogan showed him a tape, but never showed up.
But that's how I would have ended the movie, where it's because that's more believable than...
Absolutely.
And then it also plays into the moral of, like, hard work and people can do the right thing and, and higher education. And,
absolutely.
You know what I mean? And so that's the thing.
Ken the Executioner Dietrich. The guy's actual name has way too many consonants for me to try to pronounce it.
Oh, yeah.
It's like there's 47 letters in his name.
That guy clearly doesn't speak English. like that dude doesn't speak
He thought he was in a real fight.
Yeah, he definitely thought he was in a real fight. So this movie starts with Kevin James being the most royal screw-up.
Yeah, he's a terrible person.
He's a terrible person. He used to be Teacher of the Year, but that was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's like they never give him like everything is so on the surface.
He was, because he keeps referencing that I was a good wrestler in high school.
Right.
Was it high school or college?
College.
Okay. He plays that character of used to be a high school college jock, he's doesn't give a shit, he's riding his motorcycle, like he was way too cool for Kevin James to play.
Yeah, and everything about it was very on the surface. Nobody had any layers. No. And so it's like,
come on, it's a Happy Madison movie, there's no depth.
Right. Well, right. And that's the problem with these movies.
Come on, Liam, what do you think? We're going to actually think about this script?
Right, because I wish that we did a little bit, just because Kevin James was a Teacher of the Year. So what happened for him to not care? And I think you had to give him a character moment where we find out that the reason why he didn't care was because he reached this kid, but then this kid...
How do I reach these kids?
Right. Yeah, I don't know. There has to be some sort of moment where his hard work and the blood, sweat, and tears that he put into the kids didn't bit him in the ass or something, and that's why he doesn't care.
No, and that's the thing. He doesn't care about the kids. He cares about Winkler.
Right.
That's it. He doesn't give a shit about he doesn't even know these kids, really.
Right. He knows the one Chinese girl.
Yeah.
Right. And that story... That whole story, which I found out that she's a man now.
Do what now?
So the little Asian girl in Here Comes the Boom is now a guy.
Oh, interesting.
So yeah, she's apparently, or he's a YouTube star.
I'm looking at the character names. Malia de la Cruz. So I'm guessing Charisse is the real name.
Yeah,
that's the credited name. Let's see what. And now, yeah, you're right. Is Jake Zeros.
Yes, so he's a YouTube star, and so that's something that kind of came out of this movie.
And a singer, though.
Yes.
Looks like a YouTube singer.
Yes.
Done Oprah a bunch of times. Okay.
Yep.
Fair enough.
So, congratulations to him.
Yeah.
I really liked his performance.
Yeah.
I thought he did a great job.
Convincing.
The only issue I had with it was, again, there's no depth.
None.
Because, she's got to go and work at her father's restaurant.
Correct.
Right? So just so everybody can keep pronouns straight, I'm going to refer to him as her.
Well, the character name is Malia.
Right, because so at the time of this movie, it is a her.
Yes, it's a girl in the movie.
It's a girl in the movie, so I'm referring to her as her.
The character is a female in the movie.
Just for everybody.
It's his daughter.
Yeah. So his daughter has to come work at the restaurant because his chef quit, right? And she can't do music anymore and she can't sing.
Yep.
And that's really depressing and sad for her. And that's just wrapped up because Kevin James's brother
also knows how to cook.
Knows how to cook, and so he hooks him up in a Chinese restaurant or something.
Right.
And it's like, that's so terrible. Like,
and it's funny because didn't he cook when Kevin James finally abducted Salma Hayek for dinner? Wasn't it?
It was French.
Oh, was it French?
It was French.
Okay.
Because he asks where the meal's from, and she says, he goes, Turkey, and she goes, it's French, and he says, yes, but we got the chicken from Turkey because it's foul.
Yeah, I know. I remember that joke.
Yeah, it didn't land.
No. I had about as much enthusiasm last night as I do right now.
Right. But that's part of the problem, is that everything just happens.
Yeah.
None of the things have any weight to them.
No.
Because, he...
And I'm sorry, the restaurant was pretty fucking full.
Right.
So why was it so important?
The restaurant was full now that the cook...
Yeah, but it was like one day.
Oh, I know. Everything just kind of happens.
And it's one of those things, like, was it that important for her to, like, not
do
play
music?
An instrument?
Right.
I mean, it's part... Like, she has to go... Is she taking her out of school?
Yeah.
So she's quitting school.
Because, yeah, right.
Okay, because she has to go wait tables.
Right. And then I forget...
She can't do both.
I can't, yeah. She has to...
The restaurant that's probably only open for dinner anyway, so she could do both. See, I'm just going to poke all kinds of holes in this bullshit.
Right. Well, the other thing, too, is her father was not old world enough.
Oh, no, he was very American.
Yeah, he was not old world enough for it to for it to be like, yeah, we're taking you out of school because school is stupid.
Right.
And because
this is going to be your life, regardless of what you want. You're going to go into the family business,
right?
No, I mean, in a situation with a guy like this, if it was that dire, he would have closed the restaurant.
Right, exactly. And it's funny because it was Reggie Lee was the guy.
Okay,
and he's just like one of those like Asian actors that's in everything. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so I'm looking at him and I'm like, I'm actually far more distracted because I can't place you right now.
And you know what's actually I'm just kind of putting this all together. So we were under the assumption, because we've said it a few times now, and they have a restaurant. They're Asian.
Yeah, they're Filipino.
Okay, there we go.
They're Filipino.
Because the De La Cruz thing was throwing me.
Yeah.
But okay, that makes a little bit more sense.
Yeah, so they're Filipino. Okay. And that's another thing. She's like, I came over here from the Philippines. There's a weird weird C plot that's happening with all of the people trying to get American citizenship too.
Yeah, that did happen, didn't it?
That was like a weird subplot.
Yeah, but that was just...
he's trying to raise the money, so he's teaching in a citizenship class.
Someone's seen Stripes too many fucking times, let's be honest. They were just trying to recreate that scene.
Yeah.
The Stripes where Harold Ramis is teaching the foreign people who are basically doing the same thing. They're trying to get citizenship, and he's teaching them English, and it's the joke of... one of the guys in broken English. I'm not going to do an accent because it's 2018 and we can't do that. But he's basically saying, "I learned English today. I learned a sentence today from a cab driver." And he says, "Oh, good. What was this sentence? Son of bitch shit." That was the it worked better in Stripes. I'm not going to try it again.
Yeah,
et cetera, et cetera. But that's felt like this, and they kept going back to the guy who has that face. He's been in a bunch of these fucking movies as either a delivery guy or he's always
the
that.
Sandler token foreign guy.
Yeah, when Rob Schneider isn't doing blackface, it's this guy.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Basically, because he did it in what was the one when Schneider was the delivery guy?
Big Daddy.
Thank you.
Yeah,
where he was playing the Indian. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Schneider plays almost anything but an American.
That's true.
But this guy has kind of taken up that mantle as that guy.
Correct. And then
and of course in there is the fighter.
Yeah, Boss Rutan.
Is that his name?
I believe that's his
Boss
name.
Rutan. That's a hell of a Boss Rutan. That's an awesome name.
Yeah, he's
Chris. I would have just gone with that than Nico.
Yeah,
Nico's so again very lazy.
Right.
The name's just very lazy.
But Boss Rutan's a real fighter.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny. So. It's funny because when we first see him at the gym. Teaching that like MMA class, Boss Rutan was approached at a party by a guy who said that he knows street karate, and that's what he did.
Oh, that's awesome.
And so Boss Rutan was so tickled by it that they made it. They put it in.
They
the
worked
movie.
that into the thing.
They worked that into
that. See, that would have been funny.
Yeah,
I would have rather seen that scene.
Right, of this guy saying that he could do
do dance fighting.
Yeah,
okay,
do dance fighting. So
Christ.
I really liked Boss Rutan. I thought Boss Rutan did a good job in this movie. I thought he was
a functional character.
He was a functional character, very, very fun.
He played the role he was intended to play.
Yeah, yeah.
Whether he got his citizenship, they all did at the end.
They all do at the end
because it has to be a happy ending. Because it's a Happy Madison,
right? And they pull out in Quincy Market to like a flag.
Okay, now that was another thing I saw. Do they actually do that there? I figured it'd be the State House or something like that. They don't, because Quincy Market's a fucking mall.
Oh yeah,
it's like what they go grab a Regina pizza and then fucking get their citizenship. I don't think they do that in Faneuil Hall.
No, they do it at City Hall,
right?
Or the State House.
Or some kind of legal building.
Yeah, not Quincy Market.
Is this a bit too local? They're expecting people just to not give a shit and it looked cool?
See, it looked, because that's the thing. It looked far cooler than our state building.
I'm sorry, our state building has a gold top to it.
Yeah, but you're not going to... Yeah, but that's the top of the building, not the door. So you're not going to see the door.
Sandler, get a crane. You get $48 million.
Well, they use the crane in that shot.
Exactly.
So... They it's I think it's just too local that we understood. We looked at that. We
understood that was a shopping center, not a fucking legal building.
Yeah, okay. Not a legal building.
It
looks old timey.
Yeah,
it looks old timey and Boston-y. So that has to be it. Again, I think Salma Hayek was terrible in this movie.
I much like a lot of them, it felt like she just didn't give a shit. She was grabbing her paycheck.
Yeah, she was earning that paycheck.
The unfortunate thing is some of them, like Winkler, cannot give a shit, but also seem very relaxed in a character.
Yeah.
Whereas she comes off as not convincing.
Yeah, Henry Winkler is the MVP of this movie.
Well, he's the Fonz, so
he's the MVP of this movie.
I mean, he didn't even bother for a fucking haircut.
No,
he's just like whatever, man.
So
I've done 4 of these this year.
I'll tell the Henry Winkler story. So
okay,
in this movie. As the story progresses, Kevin James fights in increasingly better venues till ultimately he fights in Las Vegas at UFC.
I have issues with that, but go on.
Yeah. So he fights at this one fight where the guy takes his music. So the other guy comes out. It's the scene. It's the fight in which he throws up on the guy.
That was one of my moments.
Yeah, right.
That was one of my chuckle moments.
Right. So
because puke is funny.
There's actually a couple of things that happen with this. So we shot that at the old Everett High School.
Okay.
Is where we shot that in the gymnasium, and they set the whole thing up there. So were you just
a crowd member?
I was just a crowd member. I played like a security guard or whatever. I was just an extra, so I didn't have.
I understand you were just an extra, but what was your role?
Oh, my role was I was like a member of the
arena staff.
The arena staff. Okay. So they're backstage when they hear the music, and for like 2 seconds you can see the back of my head as I walk by. But because I was in that scene, they kept actively. I would assume that I had to have been like in one of the different angles.
Sure.
You could have clearly saw who I was, because usually in those situations, they don't put you back into general population when you're like in a crowd, because it takes away if like, hey, I saw that guy in that scene.
Sure.
And then now he's in the crowd.
Yeah.
So that's how usually that ends up working. So I was basically just kind of always being like put out and around. I wasn't actually in any of the other crowd stuff. And so that kind of got boring because I'm just sitting and watching everything.
Sure.
So I go to the craft services table, and because I'm SAG-AFTRA,
and you're watching Here Comes the Boom get made. It's not like you're watching Denzel Washington direct.
Right. So I'm watching I'm posted
You're
up.
watching something in the laugh out loud gift box.
Yeah, right.
Now, by the way, before you go on, is that 5 discs or 1?
It's 3.
3 discs. Which doubles up?
So we have Here Comes the Boom and Grown Ups 2.
Okay.
It's still in
on one disc.
Yeah, and so then this is Joe Dirt 2 and Paul Blart Mall Cop 2, and then Pixels gets its own DVD.
Pixels gets its own DVD.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Was there like a riveting director's commentary on any of them?
I haven't looked.
Okay, so back to your scene.
So because I'm SAG-AFTRA, we have a separate craft service.
Yes, you do.
Away from the normal non-unions.
Oh yeah, you eat first and you get better food.
We get better food.
Hot food. Your bagels go stale a little bit longer.
we could do a whole show about how Like, I was in a MasterCard commercial once, and it was at the Garden, and they gave everybody who was non-union $10 and told them to be back in 45 minutes. And they brought everybody that was union down to the Players Lounge where we had lobster and steak. It was hilarious.
That's not okay. That's an extreme.
That is an extreme,
but it's a great example.
It's a great
because
example.
That's exactly how it is.
That is
the non-union ones are treated literally like cattle.
When I was
off the fend for themselves,
right,
and they get the food. You have to wait.
Yep.
You have to wait till these union people get it. Then the crew. Then the this. Then the that. Right. Then it's like, okay, now you get the scraps.
When I was working on Fever Pitch, they gave everybody a brown lunch.
Terrible one.
They gave everybody a brown bag that had a piece of fruit, a sandwich, a bag of chips, and a can of soda, and a candy bar.
Yeah.
And then we went to the Red Sox, where the Red Sox staff cooked us like beautiful chicken and turkey and stuff.
Unbelievable.
It's funny. But so I'm going over to the craft services table, which is just snacks and stuff.
Sure.
And so I'm zoned out. I'm zoned out staring at the craft services table. Not that I want anything, but just because I needed to get up and move. And so then I'm standing there and I'm zoned out, and all of a sudden from behind me, I feel somebody like looking over my shoulder.
Okay.
And I'm like, oh, what the hell? And it's Henry Winkler. And he goes, oh, is there anything good here? And I was just like, you know what? I don't even know. I was thinking about grabbing some pretzels or something. And we have like this little quick back and forth. And so he goes, all right, maybe I haven't tried these pretzels. I'll try the pretzels. And so he gets the pretzels and walks away. Yeah. And so now this is a very, very long day. A very, very local Boston thing that ended up happening. Now they make all of the extras sign NDAs when they go to set because of this day. Because of this day. Everybody, because there's just so many people and everybody wants to be in a movie.
Yep.
And they don't understand that this is like a working thing. Like
that's one of the fun things about people who, especially when you need a crowd,
right?
Because when you need a crowd, you're getting to a point where
anybody.
The casting agent will send out things. Bring your friends,
right?
And if you've never been on a set and you know nothing about movies, after the first hour, you are so fucking annoyed.
Yeah, right.
And it's happened so many times. Go on.
Right. And so in Boston, they now make people sign NDAs because this was a closed set. Like, we had enough people. We didn't need more people.
Sure.
But all of the non-union people were calling their friends because it's like, oh, like, I'm from Everett and my cousin's in Everett. So they were inviting people to set.
Right.
So there were people that were just wandering around the building. A bunch of people got shit stolen from holding because you're in character, right?
You don't have your stuff.
You don't have your stuff.
Right.
And because there is so much downtime, if you've done this before, you might bring an iPad or, something like that.
Sure.
And you can't bring that with you.
They tell you got 12 to 14 hours of a day. What are you going to do? You can't be working the whole time.
Right. A gaming console of some kind, a computer. And so a lot of people got a lot of stuff stolen because they were inviting things. It also was people were walking up to like Kevin James that weren't working and like trying to get autographs in the middle of shooting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that was a big thing. So this day ground to a halt.
Oh my God.
Right. And so we're there for probably
but that overtime
around.
Must have been awesome.
Yeah, it was, because again, I'm SAG-AFTRA.
Yeah.
And you're
sitting like, everybody keep fucking up overtime money.
Right. So here's the deal. This is how it all works out, just for you people who have no idea what any of this nonsense is.
Sure.
So if you're non-union, you are making like $75 for the day.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's 4 hours. It doesn't matter if it's 14 hours. Right?
They give you a time. It's X amount of dollars for X amount of time, and then it jumps up a little
bit.
It's almost like you get time and a half after 12 or something like that.
Right, something like that.
But with the union,
so you are paid for 8 hours.
Yep.
So there's a scale. Extra work is about $130
for 8 hours.
For 8 hours. After that, you get time and a half for 2 hours.
Yep.
After the 2 hours, you get double for 2 hours. After that, you get the entire accumulation of the entire day every hour.
Yep.
And I've done that.
Not counting
once.
meal penalties or any of that shit.
Yeah. Well, and the meal penalties, because you're supposed to take breaks at certain times.
Every so many hours, you're supposed to be given X amount of time.
And if you don't do that, they give you penalties. And that's actually included. Right. So if you do have a meal penalty, that's included into that time.
That's where the big bucks start rolling in.
That happened to me once.
Yeah.
That happened to me one time. And fortunately, it was when I was principal. So my base salary was like $750 for the day and for the 8 hours. And we went 2 hours into what's called golden time. They call that golden time. And oh baby.
I had one day it was like, I've had, let's see, most of them go relatively on time, some go early. One of the days I was on Great Debaters, went about 16 hours, we were told, for but there was one. It was a TV show pilot that never got picked up.
Of course.
Called Boston's Finest. I might have told this story on an earlier episode. And the director was just, I want to say, a little too anal for what we were doing.
Yeah, okay.
And it went from, it basically, end story, it was 24 hours.
Yeah.
It was a 24-hour day.
Oh.
And we started at 10 a.m. I caught the bus at about 11:30 the next morning.
Brutal.
And because the scene was what it was, very similar to what you were doing because you were in the scene.
Yeah.
It was me and two other extras were the only ones that were kept. Everyone else was released.
Yeah.
So it was us and a very pissed off Neil Long and Katie Sackhoff.
Yeah, of course.
The fucking five of us are just hanging out. I've read the Herald 47 times already.
Yeah, right.
But there'll be, I have a really good Katie Sackhoff story that I'll get to later on, but this is for Here Comes the Boom.
Right. And so now we haven't gotten food yet, right? And so I'm just sitting there. Well, of course, because they're the production department and like the actual lead actors and stuff, and they don't care about the cattle, right? They ordered pizza.
As you do.
And so Henry Winkler's sitting there with a whole pizza, and I just happened to make eye contact with him.
And I'm sure because they are who they are, each one of them got their own pizza.
Right.
It wasn't like, you know what? Let's split a couple. You get pepperoni, I'll get the...
Yeah,
no, it's like, what do you want?
Everybody's got like... So he's sitting there with a whole pizza.
Right.
And he just flags me over. And
you're so happy you mentioned the pretzels.
Yeah, right. And so I'm more excited to sit and kind of talk, hang out with the farms.
Right, exactly.
And so we're sitting and eating some pizza or whatever, and he shows me all of the pictures of his dog. And so we're just sitting there for about an hour just talking about his dogs.
Because everybody thinks he's the Fonz, but he's like everybody's favorite uncle.
Oh, yeah.
In reality.
He is the nicest man. He's so great. He gave me a slice of pizza. Like, he's just such an awesome guy. Yep. And the cool thing is it's really tough, especially working on one of those types of things where there's a lot of extras.
Sure.
There are unprofessional people because I do.
Oh, there always is.
And people asking for autographs and pictures and stuff. And he was very, very accommodating.
I'm sure.
Because, the brief interaction he was just an awesome guy.
Right.
It's funny. I haven't seen this movie. Like, I didn't rush out to theaters to see it. But this is one of the better on-set experiences that I've had.
Yeah.
And...
Exactly.
It was fun. I was in another scene. I was in the scene where it's raining. I was also in that, because basically they're just trying to get people in for these crowds.
Sure.
So they don't care, they don't care at all. And so it was cool that I got to be in that scene too.
That's another weird one. That raining scene was just...
It was
bizarre.
Freezing. It was freezing.
It was just bizarre. Fighting in the rain, and that's how he won or some shit.
They all slipped or something. It was dumb.
Laziness.
Again, the movie is...
That was literally like, we can't do a banana peel in the ring.
Right.
Rain.
Right. The movie was meh. It was
just there.
I have more fond memories of my time on set about
I found that almost with every movie I've done.
I had
But again, we mentioned last week I haven't done any of the cool movies.
Yeah,
so it's like, hopefully I have a good experience on set because the movie's not going to hold up.
Right, the movie's not going to hold up.
Wait till Ghost to Girlfriend's Past.
I can't wait. We'll get my buddy Mike Anastasia on this too, so you can both talk about it. But I'm going to say that's
because with your Winkler story, when we get to that movie, I have a McConaughey story.
Right.
So, I mean, and that was one of the cooler, I had 2 days in that scene, and it was one of the cooler experiences I've had.
Yeah. But yeah.
Movie, not so much. Just watch TBS any day.
With that, I'm going to say, because Bill, you haven't seen Here Comes the Boom, right?
I have not, but now that you own it, I might.
Okay, well,
Rush out, Bill.
Yeah. But that's going to be Here Comes the Boob, because there's nothing left to talk about with this movie.
It really isn't. You can cue the music one more time if you really want to. I mean, the song's almost as bad as the fucking movie.
Yeah.
I'll be straight up.
Did we talk about MoviePass on this? I'm going to touch on that real quick.
We talked about it briefly last week, but go right ahead.
I'm just going to highly recommend MoviePass. MoviePass is amazing.
Maybe we talked about it off air.
We might have talked about it off air.
We talked about it late night Liam.
Right. And so seeing it's that movie show, I'm going to definitely plug it. The MoviePass is the best. Go to moviepass.com, sign up for it if you love movies.
It's one of those things, when I've seen it, it's always, everything I've read about it, I'm like, this is too good to be true.
Right. Well,
there has to be a catch.
Right, but that's the thing. There isn't.
There isn't. It is as good as it sounds.
It is as good as it sounds.
Break it down for people.
So you go to moviepass.com, you sign up. It's basically Netflix for movie theaters.
Right.
So the catch, and the only one that there is that it's one movie a day.
Yep.
No 3D, no IMAX.
Right.
And it's really anything, because what you do is...
It's like $10 a month, right?
It's $10 a month.
Okay.
And so you have to be at the theater. So I can't be in the studio when we have a movie theater that's like 2 miles away. I can't...
Location-based.
Yeah, it's location-based. So I have to be...
Probably because there's only certain theaters. It's probably not every... Is it every theater?
It's every theater. Every theater.
Oh.
And so what it does is there's an app. There's an app. And the app... has the list of the movie theaters and the showings.
Sure.
And you check in at the movie you want to go into. And you have to, like I said, you have to be in the movie theater.
Yep.
And what they do is they reference how much that ticket is going to cost.
Sure.
And they deposit it onto a debit card that they send you.
Which you have.
Which I have.
Yep.
And so they deposit the money for that card on there, and then...
And you just buy the ticket.
I buy the ticket.
There you
I
go.
buy the ticket with that debit card.
And it's $10 a month, unlimited movies, one per day.
Yep. And so that's it.
Pretty
one per day.
good.
And it's pretty damn good. And it's all of them. I don't know if they, would do a Fathom event or something. I haven't tried anything like that.
Well, if it sounds how it is,
I would see that they would just look at the price.
It sounds like a debit card.
Right. I would click on the Fathom event.
Because if you're at the theater and you're buying tickets, it's just listed like every other movie.
Right. And so
you can go online and pre-order them. But if you just go to the theater and it's like, oh, the last one I think I saw was Princess Bride. You walk up and it's just the same. If you go to the kiosk, Princess Bride at 7 o'clock.
And so I think it's just because it is.
So it would just take the price of that.
This is how much that ticket costs, and here's the money. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. It's totally worth it. It's very simple. It's very easy. Bill signed up for it. He hasn't used it yet.
There you go.
I have.
Oh, you have?
No. I've signed up for it.
But he hasn't used it.
He's joined the club.
Correct.
Yeah. It's worth it, and it's awesome. And, it's going to be kind of, something that I'm going to be using a lot more in terms of movies that I may not have seen normally.
That makes it completely worth it.
Because, back when I was in high school and in college and I didn't have as many bills as I do now, hashtag adulting, I would go and see these movies that I was like, I'm on the fence on it. I'll take a flyer and go see it in the movie theater.
Back then, they weren't $20 a movie.
Yeah, right. It was also like $7.
Right.
So it was a lot easier to go to the movies. And now I can kind of go back to that, where it's like, I found out that the Peter Rabbit movie, right? So Peter Rabbit, they have all of the people. They've
updated it.
Right.
I loved Peter Rabbit. As a child,
right.
That was a great story. And I saw they were making the movie. I'm like, oh, cool. And then I saw the trailer.
Right.
And it's
right.
Fucking CGI Matrix shit. It's like
but Margot,
a bunny is kicking a guy across a room, and I'm just like, God damn it.
Right, but Margot Robbie's in it. Daisy Ridley
as a person or as
one of the rabbits. She's
they're voicing.
Margot Robbie. She's in it. James Corden. I love everything that he's in. The main bad guy is General Hux from Star Wars. Okay. So I'm like, I like all of the people that are in this movie.
Now, have you seen it?
No.
Okay, so you're planning to see it.
Yes, and so you're looking at it, and it's just like, yeah. I can take a flyer on this movie because I might not have before.
It's easy to justify because basically after you watch one movie, it
pays for itself.
Yeah,
yeah, right.
You're getting free movies at that point. Now I know that you've seen it, so just a quick, because this isn't going to be about this episode. Quick synopsis: what do you feel about Black Panther?
I really liked Black Panther. I still think that Marvel has a villain problem.
Yep.
Where
I feel they have an editing problem. I saw it this week. Yeah, and it's too fucking long. It's too long.
It's a little too long.
I can withstand the long, and I feel they should almost do it to put it into wrestling perspective. The pay-per-views used to be longer because they were special,
right?
Now the TV shows, whatever. But I feel Marvel should adopt something like that, where when they get all the Avengers together, okay,
it's
you can push it 2.5, 2:45. But these solo one-off movies,
90 to 2,
a hard fucking 90, man.
Yeah,
that's all you need. Like they could have easily. I'm watching it, and it was great.
Yeah,
the acting, the casting was fucking perfect.
You want to know what my biggest gripe of that movie is?
What
is the green screen? There was poor green screen work. Especially when he goes to the like ancestral plane.
Okay.
In the movie.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing. You'll get it, but when they go there,
when you see it, you'll get
it. When they go there, it has such a beautiful, like, Africa can be so beautiful,
right?
That I feel like they didn't lean into the natural African beauty.
Well, wasn't this filmed in a warehouse in Santa Monica?
It was filmed in a warehouse in Georgia.
Oh, even worse.
Yeah. So it shows that like some of the keying isn't that great.
Okay.
And so that kind of took me out a little bit. I loved Michael B. Jordan.
Fantastic.
His performance was great, and his was the best of all of the evil mirrors. Because that's the big issue with all of these Marvel movies, is that all of the bad guys in these movies are just evil versions of the hero.
Yeah, they're just evil one-offs.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I think Michael B. Jordan was by far the best of all of them.
I've been impressed with him. I mean, he was great in his short run on The Wire, but as an adult, he's become one of the better actors of this generation.
He is.
He's consistently knocking it out.
He is. He's great, and he was awesome. The motivation was good. I really liked it. I thought it was great.
I thought it was a great movie. I just thought they could have cut 20 minutes out.
Yeah.
There was some repetition, especially in some of the action scenes. It's like if they took one of those out, and it would have been a little tighter movie. Especially, I saw it. I went to a 9:30 show, so I was getting out around like midnight.
It's funny because you look at the beginning of the movie, and the villain that they're chasing in the beginning of the movie, that scene, like all of that, could have been 10-15 minutes. We could have just jumped to like a real quick, like, hey, I'm going to get this guy, like, doesn't get the guy, Michael B. Jordan comes in and gets the guy. You know what I mean? Like, we could have easily have done that without spending 45 minutes
right
figuring that out. I
might be alone in it. I'm also getting a little tired of the post-credit scenes. They're kind of becoming worthless and not worth the 20-minute fucking credit scene.
Yeah.
It's like you wait 20 minutes to see, okay, I get it, but that one could have been moved forward.
Right.
Give me a mid-credit scene and say the end so I can get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I understand everybody has a job to do, but there's 47,000 animators whose names I'm never going to remember.
Yeah, it's to just kind of give it to those people. I don't mind them. I think that I'm okay with it. I don't mind sitting in the theater,
I don't mind. I think my thing was, at that point, it was late.
Right.
And it had been a long movie. And I'm like,
you're just ready to go.
I think that was it.
Yeah.
I think I was just ready to go home. I think it's going to be much better when it hits cable or Blu-ray or whatever.
Marvel has done a great job taking these C-list and D-list characters and really making them feel special in a way that their DC counterparts haven't with their A people. With their A people. The fact that you can have a movie where Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, and The Flash are all in it, and I didn't go see it.
I still haven't seen it. It just hit on demand this week, and I'm like, I'll get there.
Yeah, I'll get there. I'm waiting for it on DVD. Maybe I'll pick it up on Blu-ray.
That's how I got, when I first saw Batman vs. Superman. The only reason I picked it up was I'm walking by, and it was $5 for Blu-ray, DVD, and digital. I'm like, okay, $5.
Sure, why not?
Why not?
My favorite part of Batman vs. Superman is the score, right, Bill? The yeah, it's the best. We love it. So,
So that was Here Comes the Boom.
Yeah.
See, we had to end on a little better note than Here Comes the Boom. That's why I brought up Black Panther.
Yeah.
I was like, at least we both like that movie.
And Get Out was re-released in theaters over President's Day weekend. For free.
Fucking hell. If you didn't see it and you didn't even try on Monday, you were mistaken.
Yeah.
But actually, speaking of that, so the Oscars are next weekend?
I believe so.
Okay, so it was yesterday was one of the days. Next Saturday is the second one. I believe it's AMC.
Okay.
Yesterday they released a handful of the Best Picture nominees, and next Saturday the rest of them.
Okay.
So you got to just check websites and whatnot, because I think it's like one showing per movie.
Yeah.
So it's almost like you can just run through all of them in one theater.
Okay, cool.
I want to say next weekend is Dunkirk, so I might actually be able to finally see that on the big screen.
That'd be cool.
I hope.
But yeah, definitely go check that out. And so that means that next week will be our Oscar review.
It will be our Oscar review. Because the Oscars will be Sunday, so this show drops on Monday on New Age Pop, so we're going to do a review, man.
Yeah, we'll do a review. It'll be a ton of fun.
Cool.
So thank you very much for everybody tuning in.
Absolutely. We're sorry for the content, but it is what it is.
It is what it is.
They all can't be winners.
Yeah.
I am Mike Wendt. Follow me on Twitter at Mike Wendt. Liam Stryker at Liam NAI. Bill Neville, thank you for producing again. Bill Neville NAI.
You got it, boys.
Twitter.
Also, happy birthday, Bill Neville.
Wow, look at him burying the lead all fucking show. Happy birthday, sir.
Thank you so much.
We should have done a drinking show. Would have made the movie a hell of a lot better.
I drank a whole lot on Friday, not tonight.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. So thank you very much for tuning in. You can find all of our nonsense at New Age Insiders, at New Age Pop, at twitch.tv/New Age Insiders Pop. We have a YouTube channel. We got a Facebook page, That Movie Show TV.
Has the new website dropped yet?
No, March 15th.
Well, there you go, because that will be where everything will be found.
That'll be, we'll just
That'll be the
that.
easier thing. We should say newageinsiders.com has everything.
Yeah, you can go there right now, but it's just...
I can't wait to cut the shtick in like a quarter.
I know. It's going to be the best.
All the fucking business.
Just go to newageinsiders.com. Everything's right there on the homepage.
Yeah, Glorknormal's not a thing.
Nope, it's still not a thing.
Still not a thing.
Yeah, so...
I want to say that was a joke back from the After the Bell show when I said that the Mike and Billy show was available on Spreaker, and Jason just started running
exactly
with it.
What it was.
Yeah,
Because every time and I'm like, it's been like 5 years, and you guys are still dropping the Glorknormal shit?
It's stuck in his brain now.
It is.
See, that's how important I am to this fucking brand.
it is. So thank you very much. Follow us on all the social media. We're going to get out of here. Go watch Here Comes the Boom. And buy the Laugh Out Loud comedy pack. 5-movie collection featuring Here Comes the Boom, Grown Ups 2, Paul Blart 2, Joe Dirt 2, and Pixels at Target for only $10.
There you go. See ya.
Bye.